Welcome back. Today we start in Livingstone, Zambia, known globally as the gateway to Victoria Falls. But behind the tourism brochures lies a technical reality of human-wildlife friction. In September 2025, in the high-density residential area of cold storage, that friction turned fatal. This is the tragic story of the trampling of 16-year-old student Honest Manjamba Jr. Where this happens matters. Livingstone's residential compounds have steadily expanded into what were once ancient elephant migration routes. By late 2025, the Zambia Wildlife Management Authority was already reporting a sharp rise in what it called encroachment conflict. The elephants aren't lost or confused, they're simply trying to follow paths their kind have used for generations. Paths that are now covered by roads, houses, and power lines. Eyewitness reports from the cold storage compound describe a deteriorating situation. A lone bull elephant became trapped within the grid of houses. It was met by a crowd of youths who began trailing the animal. The technical breakdown of the incident suggests the animal was subjected to sustained harassment, including shouting and stone throwing, pushing its stress levels past a critical threshold. An African bull elephant can reach speeds of up to 25 miles per hour in just seconds. When this bull reached its breaking point, it stopped retreating and launched a defensive charge. On a narrow residential street, there's nowhere to escape from an animal of this size and power. Honest Man found himself directly in the path of the 5-ton giant. The force of an elephant is absolute. Just one strike from its trunk core, a single step from its massive, multi-ton foot can cause immediate, fatal internal injuries. Emergency services confirmed that Njamba died instantly. This was the second such death in Livingstone in just 7 days. The second victim was a man in his 30s whose identity wasn't immediately confirmed. According to the Ministry of Tourism, he was part of a larger group that came across a bull elephant that had wandered into the residential area. In the pre-dawn shadows, the distance between the crowd and the 5-ton animal was dangerously underestimated. According to technical reports from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, the elephant had also been deliberately provoked in what became known as the Railways Incident. A rowdy crowd reportedly chased the animal through the narrow streets. For an elephant, being pursued by shouting people in a confined space is extremely stressful, often causing it to stop fleeing and launch a defensive charge that can be deadly. Around 4:15 in the morning, the elephant reached its breaking point. It stopped retreating and turned. In the narrow confines of the railway's compound, there was no space to get out of the way. The man was caught in the first surge. The force of the encounter was deadly, a combination of crushing weight and high-speed impact that left no chance of survival. This was the first death in a deadly 48-hour period. Shortly after, a student was killed in cold storage. But the railway's incident serves as a stark warning about the nocturnal buffer. At night, the human eye simply can't read an elephant's stress signals. By the time the charge starts, there's almost no chance to survive. In another sad case, on January 25, 2025, at Kruger National Park's Malelane Gate, one of the primary arteries into the park, while most fatalities occurred deep within the reserve. This incident happened at the very edge of civilization, near the Crocodile River Bridge in the park's reception area. It is a technical case study in what happens when the buffer zone between humans and megafauna collapses. The day was routine for Sheikh Adam Shabir, a 59-year-old visitor from Mkhondo. Eyewitness accounts and SAPS reports indicate that his grandchildren, aged 5 and 11, had moved away from the vehicle to take photographs near the bridge. Behind the trees, an individual elephant from a nearby herd was visible. To the children, it was a simple photo opportunity. To the elephant, their movement past the bridge. Suddenly, the elephant launched into a full-speed charge. In an elephant's behavior, a charge is often a clearing maneuver. As the children ran, the 11-year-old boy fell. The elephant reached him almost immediately, striking at his legs with its trunk. This was the mechanical breaking point. the moment when the encounter shifted from a warning display to an active attack. Seeing his grandson pinned, Adam Shabir rushed into the strike zone to intervene. By diverting the elephant's attention, he managed to save the children, but at a fatal cost. The elephant turned its full mass, approximately 6 tons, onto Adam Shabir. The force of a trampling at this scale causes immediate, catastrophic trauma. Adam Shabir succumbed to his injuries on the scene before emergency responders could arrive. If you enjoy watching this video, please give us a like and subscribe. Okay, let's move on now to the Madimbo Border Fatality, the Madimbo Operational Base, Limpopo. This is the front line of Operation Corona High Stakes mission to secure South Africa's northern border. Here, the landscape is a technical nightmare of thick brush, harsh heat, and deep sand. But for the soldiers of the 10 Anti-Air Regiment, the greatest threat isn't always human. On July 27, 2025, that threat became a terminal reality for Private Xavier Reynard. Reynard, a 33-year-old veteran who had already survived combat and catastrophic fires, was on what should have been a routine patrol near the Malala Drift Road. Reports indicate that he briefly separated from his unit to retrieve a power bank from the base camp. In the unforgiving tactical environment of Madimbo, even a short separation is a serious risk. Within 300 meters of the Yellow Gate, Reynard unknowingly walked straight into a migratory elephant heard moving across the border from Zimbabwe. Environmental officials from Ledet confirmed that the herd included several young calves. In elephant behavior, a herd with calves is constantly on edge. When Reynard came upon them on the narrow Malala Drift Road, there was no safe distance between man and animal. The adult cows, driven purely by instinct to protect their young, reacted immediately. In thick bush, an elephant can charge at up to 40 kilometers per hour, and the sound often comes only when it's already too late. Reynard's body was found later that afternoon. His service rifle was recovered nearby, snapped cleanly in half by the force of the trampling, a stark reminder of the sheer mechanical power behind a 6-ton animal. When a second military team moved in to recover his remains, the herd was still in the area and launched another charge, forcing the soldiers to withdraw at speed. These stories are a clinical reminder that in the bush, nothing offers protection against the herd. In the dark side of the wild, the path belongs to the giants. I am your AI model. Stay informed, stay vigilant, stay alive.